living, we're not existing, to be able to look at the end of a day and be able to know that today I lived. I did things that will remain with me permanently, not just temporarily. I spent money, I ate in a manner. Here again, a person eats, food in, food out. The physical food is in and out. The bracha that a person made before they put that food into their mouth, the time, the 5-10 seconds that they took to take a look at the wrapper to see, is it kosher? Is it fleishiks? Is it milichiks? Is it parah? Those few seconds that the person takes. And the extra few seconds, literally seconds, that make the difference between making a bracha with zero kavana. Most of us know that that's possible. Here again, this malach is so good at what he does that it's possible for a Jew to say the words Baruch Atah. My Rebbe Zichron Avracha, Reb Michal Zichron Avracha, used to say that when a Jew says the word Atah, they're supposed to slam on the brakes. Imagine the word Atah means that I'm talking, if somebody is 20 feet away from me, I can't use the word atah anymore. If I'm talking about somebody that's next door, literally next door, or they're 20 feet away, unless I yell, I can't say the word atah. Atah means I'm standing right in front of you. I'm in your face. I'm talking to you that directly, then I can say the word atah, you. And by the fact that Hashem wrote the Torah in such a way that when we make a bracha, we say Baruch Atah. Could have said Baruch Hashem, like we say Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem Elokeinu. Hashem inserted that word Atah to tell us that each and every single one of us has the privilege of speaking directly to Hashem. Could you imagine how awesome this malach is if he's able to get us to say those words 10 times a day, 30 times a day, and not realize what we're saying, not be thinking about it at all, not realizing what a privilege that is, what an awesome privilege that I can speak directly to Hashem. I have permission to say His name, Hashem Elokeinu Melech Ha'olam, to say these words, to proclaim Hashem as King. So naturally, the Gemara says that if a person makes a bracha without kavanah, without thinking about what they're saying, the Gemara describes that as a guf b'li neshama, a body without a soul in it. All of us know what a body without a soul is. It's a corpse. It's something very dead. Dead, lifeless. That word lifeless. Lifeless is a corpse. Lifeless means without a neshama. If a Jew is davening without kavanah, without going slow enough to be thinking about what they're saying. And thinking means Rabbi Nachman was nice enough to us, to his students, and to anyone who wants to listen to what he has to say that all a Jew is required to think about when they're davening or making a bracha, simple, very, very simple. Shivisi Hashem lenegdi samid, that I'm right in front of Hashem. That's one thought. The second thought is Perush Hamilos, to try to translate the words into your language, into English, whatever is your common language, to be translating the words, meaning to be thinking of what you're saying, to know what you're saying. If a person does those two things, Shivisi, a person is conscious that I'm actually right in Hashem's face, I'm right in front of Hashem, and I'm thinking, I'm translating the words that I'm saying, that means that the bracha that I said is alive. That means I injected kedusha, holiness, into the thing that I ate. I made it permanent. I made it eternal. I locked it up. I proclaimed Hashem's name on this food. I elevated it to the status of a korban, a sacrifice, literally. The Gemara says that during the time of the Beis Hamikdash, a Jew would commit a sin, and there was a mizbeach. They would bring korbanos, different types of sacrifices that would atone for the sin. The Gemara says today that we don't have a Beis Hamikdash, we don't have a mizbeach. Shulchano shelodam mechaper kamizbeach. Our table, the food we eat, has a status, can be a korban. When? Again, if you're particular about what you eat. You eat just enough, you eat in a measured amount, the Rambam writes that much more damage is done. People do much more harm to themselves overeating than eating unhealthy, chas v'shalom. So here again, there's a question of being conscious. A lot of overeating comes from unconsciousness. People are eating while they're eating, they're thinking, they're talking, they're doing so, they're being distracted. They're not thinking. They don't realize they're involved in an operation. A surgeon, when he's doing an operation, he's cutting flesh or cutting through bone or going near the eye. How careful, how particular, how conscious he is. When a Jew is eating, he's involved in bringing a korban. A korban, there's shechting the korban, there's thousands of requirements. Every detail is critical. When a person's eating the food, the amount that we eat, and the bracha that's made before we eat, and the bracha that's made after we eat, so that the food should be digested properly, it shouldn't have any harmful effects, it should be broken down in the body properly, distributed to... This is what makes, these are the differences between existing, a person who is existing, or a person who chooses to live. I want to live. Living, we said, is Torah. The Torah is called Eitz Chaim here. According to how much the Torah is part of my life, and I'm conscious of it 24/7, this Shivisi Hashem Lenegdi Summit, I make the Torah part of my life, that's called living. Rabbi Nachman tells us, now this is something that most people speak about, most people are aware about. There's an item that eludes and evades most people, which is the fact, and this Rabbi Nachman uses the words, ki ikar hachiyus hi min hatfila. True, Torah is called life, and mitzvah is called life, and water is life. There are many things that are called life, but ikar hachiyus, out of all the different things that are considered to be life, living, Rabbi Nachman says, Ikar hachiyus hi min hatfila. The thing that gives a person, that awakens a person's consciousness to really live, to live properly, is tefillah. And this is why we find the Gemara shows us that the rabbis of the Gemara, before they would approach Torah, we know that a Jew can't learn without first davening, without first saying minimum birchas haTorah, without first saying a tefillah on the Torah. The Gemara shows that the rabbis of the Gemara, they davened before they learned, and they davened after they learned. They sandwiched the Torah in tefillah, because they knew how critical this was, that even within the Torah, there is bechira. The Gemara quotes the pasuk "V'zois haTorah asher som Moshe lefnei bnei Yisrael." This is the Torah, not which Moshe Rabbeinu taught. It doesn't say asher lomad. It says asher som. He placed it before the Jewish people. The Gemara says that word som with a sin, is also written with a samach. The Torah can go either way. It can be a medicine, an elixir of life, a sam chayim, or it can be a sam moves, a deadly poison. A person can learn Torah, and the Torah can teach them how to steal, how to insult, how to degrade people, how to feel like you're better than everybody else. All of those things a person can get from the Torah itself. Chas v'shalom. And here's where the great tzaddikim, and especially Rabbi Nachman, focused on the advice, the criticalness of tefillah, of a person asking Hashem for everything, every aspect of one's life, especially when it comes to Torah. Each and every one of us in the standard tefillah, we say, Hu yiftach libeinu b'sayrosoi. We ask that Hashem should open our hearts to His Torah. A person would say, heart? What does the heart have to do with the Torah? The heart is pumping blood. The heart is what keeps us physically alive. I need the Torah in my brain. And the answer, the Torah itself tells us that there's two important parts of the body that play a role in a person's understanding of Torah and in a person's practicing the Torah.